On this episode, we take a closer look at iHuman.
I used to be a silenced youth. I used to be someone without a voice.
Welcome to Road to Hope. I'm your host, Bianca Jade. Throughout Alberta, they're trying desperately hard to end homelessness. Right here in Edmonton, they are continuing to work at reducing the amount of youth that are sleeping on the streets. But that problem continues to exist as it's so hard for youth to find a safe place to call home. Since 2009, more than 5,000 people have been successfully housed as Edmonton continues their 10-year plan to end homelessness. At Edmonton's last homeless count, 28% of homeless identified as youth. Albert Favell was one of them.
I grew up in Regina, Saskatchewan with my siblings, and I faced homelessness. I started facing homelessness at the age of 12. And it continued on till as I grew up. My mom, she was emotionally unstable and she couldn't take care of me. My dad was never around. So I had to teach myself how to be a man and how to raise myself at a young age. While other kids were focused on, the new toys in school or the new technology, I was focused on where I was gonna sleep at night or what I was gonna eat. My stepfather was an alcoholic, and my mother, she was like always around him, so she wasn't one doing it, but I grew up around the influences of it. And then as I got older, my friends started getting into it, and I was just like, hey, it's really accessible for me, let's try it. So I got, at a young age, at the age of 12, I think I got addicted to weed and cocaine, and along with alcohol. And that was around the time when I started becoming homeless, and I used it as a way to cope with what I was dealing with, to escape my reality.
Desperately searching for an escape and a path to a better life, Albert chose to leave his home at only 12 years old.
I lived with my grandma, and she couldn't provide for me as much as I wanted her to. So at the age of 12, she kicked me out. And so I moved with my stepfather, and it was really rough there, so I didn't want to go home, so I ended up just leaving. So I moved in with my auntie for a couple of months. It wasn't a good relationship. So she ended up saying that I couldn't stay there. And so I got this money, and I went to the Greyhound after packing my bags, and I looked for, I asked them when the next bus was leaving, and they said Edmonton, and I was like, oh, well, I'll catch a trip.
Knowing no one in Edmonton, he arrived scared and alone.
Biggest fear day to day is, honestly, wondering if I had socks. Socks are important when you're homeless, just because you don't know, it's nice to have. Or when you're gonna shower. For me, it was never the fear of death or the fear of something, because that's inevitable, it'll happen. For me, it was just the fear of having something that I needed that I couldn't access.
Being turned away due to a lack of appropriate services is a harsh reality for Edmonton youth.
If nobody does it, who's gonna do it for the youth? The youth feel hopeless, they feel like they got no place to go. So that's why the suicide rate is up there a lot, because a lot of at-risk youth just don't feel the need to continue to live. So I've been working with iHuman to try to create something for youth to feel better about their situation, or youth to feel better about something.
Susan McGee at Homeward Trust doesn't only bring awareness, but she also brings funds and support to the Edmonton street youth community.
We have a fantastic group of government representation and community agencies that work together on our Youth Systems Planning Committee. We had some priority projects to get off the ground, which we did this year. There's 2 youth hubs and 2 Housing First teams. Each of those agencies are one of the leads on those projects. So the iHuman and Youth Empowerment projects, the hubs in the north and south ends of the city, as well as the Housing First teams through John Howard and E48. So specifically giving them the opportunity to participate in this and get those resources that specifically may not be available through the funding that we provide them. They're developing and they're building relationships, and they need not just opportunities for employment, but opportunities for sports and to be connected to community the way most youth are.
Back at iHuman, Albert Favell is now honored to be able to bring his roots a voice.
See, my life wasn't that of a movie scene. It was the way I died that kept fueling me. And trying to create something that youth can obtain, or show them that you don't need an education to get success. All you need is just the power and the willpower to continue moving forward in the path that you want.
Supporting the journey where they came from is something that Susan McGee is proud to say happens often.
We see people coming to Homeless Connect as homeless for the first time and then coming back as volunteers later. But the other part of ending homelessness, one person at a time, is that there's a realization of someone's potential, and we all become more inspired by that, and I think collectively as a community, we get motivated to do more.
I didn't do that, I would have died with nothing. Now I'm able to turn these words into something. This used to be a silenced youth. I used to be someone without a voice until I was able to utilize it. And now that I'm starting to utilize it, people are listening, people are hearing. So I just want youth to be able to create change that in their communities that they see me done. This to those memories that I gotta lay to rest, that I gotta lay to rest. Drama don't buy.
To learn more about Homeward Trust or how you can give back to our community, please follow the information on your screen. Thanks for watching.